I've got a fantastic hare dish to show you today. It's real fond memories for me and a firm family favourite. But before we go too far, I know what you're thinking. Why is he wearing a jacket in his own shed? Because it is freezing in here. I've turned my shed into a hanging room. Look at this beauty! A wild boar. A friend shot it at the weekend and he said, did I want it? His freezer was full. And would I mind taking a venison off his hand? Yes, please. My mates are coming round at the weekend. We're going to cook it up beautifully, butcher it down. I think I'll have some bacon there with that beautiful belly there. But anyway, enough of that. That's all for later. Right, back to the hare dish now. And I'm going to make this fantastic hare ragoût. And I'm going to use all these beautiful things. Mushrooms from my garden, some carrots, onion, celery, some aromatic herbs. And this I'm super excited about. It's my own homemade tomato passata. It's going to be fantastic. I've taken the meat from the front and back legs of the hare and I've kept the hearts and livers there as well. To enrich in this dish, we're going to smoke it a little bit. Now I'm just going to place the meat on this wire rack. And underneath the wire rack I've got the stove. Then that's just keeping the tray warm. So I've placed our meat on the wire rack. And I put the hearts and livers on top because we don't want them to get any heat whatsoever because we don't want them to cook right now. The idea is we're going to cold smoke these by having the meat on one side and the heat on the other side. I've got some real fire going here now and this is going to be perfect. We're just going to pop it in there. Don't worry, you think it's going to cook the meat. It's not. As soon as you put the tin foil on top, it's going to stop the burning and start the smouldering. We'll tuck that up for about 10 to 15 minutes and it will beautifully smoke our hare. Oh, I forgot to mention, it was applewood chips. Our hare meat's now been smoking away for about 10 minutes now, and the heat from the stove has kept those applewood chips just smouldering away. And the smokiness is just absolutely beautiful. It's really going to give our hare dish that extra dimension, which will be fantastic. Let's put this to one side. We'll move this over here to make way for my beautiful mincer. Never leave home without it. I'm going to pop our hearts and livers in first because they're good to mince through twice just to make sure the sinew in the heart is properly broken down. There we are. We just pop it with the rest of the hare meat there, like so. And then through it all goes. The smokiness is really coming through this meat already and it's going to give it such a wonderful edge. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. Oh, little things. And there we are. Here is our beautiful cold smoked hare mince. It's going to make the most amazing ragoût. I'm just going to clean this up, then we're going to get cooking. Our smoked mince is smelling fantastic and it's time to get cooking with it. The best thing to do is get a good knob of butter, pop it in the pan, and fry off your mince. See the effect by not seasoning it too early on that it has on the mince. The mince is keeping all its lovely moisture inside it rather than drying out. And you have to be careful with hare, right? Because if you season it too early with hare, all the moisture comes out and it dries out. That's definitely not what we want. You hear that noise? That's our hare frying beautifully. At this point, it's perfect to add your spices and your seasonings. Now I'm going to put a pinch of salt in to start with, quite a generous pinch of salt, and a little bit more butter actually. Remember, hare's quite lean, so you have to add fat to it, and butter's just perfect for this. Now the rest of the spices I'm going to add are these little beauties. I've roasted them in the pan, juniper berries and black peppercorns. I'm going to take 5 black peppercorns and 4 juniper berries, perfect. Just crush them up so they're nice and fine, and add them to our mix. Now to our mince we're going to add these lovely vegetables. Here I've got celery, onion, carrots and some mushrooms. These are wood bluets, but you can use any mushroom. It's quite a rich flavoured dish this, so you can afford to put 2 bay leaves in it, a nice sprig of thyme, a nice sprig of rosemary. And we're going to save that beautiful parsley for later. We gently stir our vegetables in and we cook them out further for another 2-3 minutes just to bring out the natural oils in it and the beautiful flavours. You can already see the lovely shine that's starting to come out on them. That's what we want. The flavour is going to be fantastic. This is a brilliant way to cook the legs of hare because quite often they're dry and by mincing them like this and cooking it in the ragoût, it prevents it from drying out. Our veggies are all softened up now and our spices are infused beautifully into the meat. It's time to take this dish to an even richer level. A glug of red wine. I'm going to let this red wine now reduce down to about half. That's going to really smack this flavour right up. Our beautiful rich Hare ragoût is well on its way now. The red wine's reduced by half, or maybe even a little bit more than that, to be honest. And it's time to add our tomatoes. You just blend up your tomatoes. You can put them in a jam jar or you can put them in a bottle like I've done. Then I put them in a large pan, cover them with water and cook it out for about 30 minutes. And that sterilises all the tomato that's inside. And I just keep them in my cupboard like this in little bottles. And they're beautiful. Look at that lovely, rich red tomato. When you've got tomatoes of such good quality, there's no need for tomato puree or tin tomatoes. This is essentially tin tomatoes. Now all that's left to do is let this simmer out for about 40 minutes and it's going to get richer and richer and richer. And here we are. Look at this beautiful concoction here. The most fantastic Hare ragoût. You can just see the richness in this sauce. It looks fantastic. I've got to have a quick taste actually. The tomato really mellows it out and it finishes off with a beautiful smokiness. Now I've got a great serving suggestion for this. I thought I might serve this beautiful ragoût with some gnocchi and sautéed mushrooms. Now I made this gnocchi earlier on today with my boys. It was great fun. And I thought it would marry beautifully with this ragoût. Quite simply, just sauté off your mushrooms and your gnocchi in a little bit of butter, and we're going to add a few spoonfuls of this lovely ragoût. You've got to finish it off with a bit of curly parsley. I've recently fallen back in love with curly parsley actually. It's got such a nice flavour. Put our plate down there, move the knife out the way. Sauté these beautiful gnocchis and our lovely Hare ragoût all into the centre of the plate. Just going to finish it off with some pieces of parmesan. Just hack bits off with a knife. Don't do shavings, don't grate it. This is such a rich dish, it requires some real oomph of parmesan. There we are. That is our Hare ragoût made with the lovely legs from that beautiful hare, the lovely gnocchi, the mushrooms, but the star of the show has got to be the Hare ragoût. That's the hare out the way. This big boy's up next. But at the end, wrap it up, let's go home, it's fucking late. That's a bloody match. The parmesan's so rich. Oh, freezing. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Sheesh. Oh. Oh. Shit. Rubbish. An oomph for parmesan, that's a new one, isn't it?